Hey guys, what's up? So Public Test Build is PC only, came out today, and it has all of patch 2.0 as part of its facilitating for next week as it goes live. There are so many changes in this patch, so I have no idea how I'm going to break this down into a video, but what I wanted to do is create a video purely on the patch notes and then the store options. Those are the two things that I wanted to go over in this one, and then I'll break down all of the others. There's a UI change, first and foremost. You guys can see that they've added helps and tutorials to the far left. They've added store to the far right, as well as a more updated and personally just more, what's the word I'm going for? It's a better looking UI as far as the options. You have daily rituals, you have your options, news, and then these two were there. But now that we have them available, we can go through and just find them just a little bit more accessible. My bad. Sorry, friends. So, first and foremost, let's go over the patch notes, guys. So, right here is the dev message, and I'm not going to read this verbatim, but what I want to do is leave it open long enough that you guys can pause the screen and read the patch notes so that you can see them all. I will just merely touch on all of the features that they go over, and then I will personally make a video on each segment that I think is important. So, things like the new player levels, the way shards work and how it affects the store will be a video, the new killer will be a video, survivor, hopefully get the new map, all that jazz. And so, I lost my train of thought. So what we're going to do is just go through this. So first of all, there's a tutorial now. Devin, this is huge for you if you ever watch this video, right? The tutorial allows you just to go over the basic mechanics of the game, helps you to determine how to use Blood Web, how do you hit, what's a lunge, what are hooks, what's the main point of the game. So the tutorial's not going to affect any of us, and truly it may not even help Devin at all. He's played enough to understand the game, but it gives you a sandbox mode to get used to controls in case you want to mess with anything, change key bindings. It's a great experience and opportunity for you to be able to monitor your game in a non-stressful, competitive environment. Emblems, the emblems systems being adjusted. The requirements for these emblems have been changed. They haven't gone into full detail in this portion right here of what they will do, but just recognize that the way that the emblems are working are being changed on a consistent basis to match the effort level of both the killer and the survivors. I know a big one is Lightbringer. You do like 3 gens in a game and you still won't get iridescent, even though that's more than half. Like you'll get the same amount that someone who did like 1. And so they're taking a lot of looks at what makes those emblems tick and what their skill range is between, bronze, silver, gold, and iridescent. So that's just something to keep in mind. Player level. This is a new thing. So you can't see it right now, but I'll pull it up when we pull the game up. But there's player level. So now instead of just gaining iridescent shards every game, you now have a player level. You get experience after every game you play. That experience is one of 2 things. Not experience games. The experience is used to determine your player level and your devotion level. We'll go over those in a minute. The way you get experience is how long you play in a match. So the sooner you leave, right? The less XP you get. The highest emblem quality at the end of the match. So if you play with 4 people and you have the highest Lightbringer, you will receive experience for the Lightbringer perk, right? Or the Chaser perk, or so on and so forth. That's what you will get credit for. You'll get a first match of the day bonus as killer and survivor. And then when you pass player level 100, you will gain 1 devotion level. And your overall player level progression will reset to 1, as well as XP requirements and iridescent shard rewards. So I don't really know what that means, but I know that they're planning to have accessibility and rewards for leveling, and I think that's what it means. As far as what you need to get, how much XP you need to have for certain things. I have not dug deep into that, so I have no clue how that really pans out and is threaded through the game. Just recognize that that is something that is there. So basically, very much like the Call of Duty system, where you prestige. This will be level 100, and you'll get a devotion level for every 100 levels that you do, just so that they can have a infinite leveling scaling system. Iridescent shards no longer cap at 1,000. And there's a reason for that. You can actually use iridescent shards for perks like you did in the past, much like we were using to get excess blood points, right? That's what we were doing. But iridescent shards actually are for purchasables, as far as the perks, as well as customizable items and the characters themselves. we'll go over more detail for that one. But recognize that they've made a huge change to the game as far as customizable options for the characters, for both killers and survivors, and they want to have it be accessible to where you can purchase killers and survivors with iridescent shards rather than just having them be purchasable by tender only, right? So RX cells is actually what they're moving to. RX cells are the purchasable options. So iridescent shards, right, where you have blood shards, you have iridescent shards, and now there's RX cells. RX cell standing for you get a certain amount of these for spending real game money to be able to purchase them. So instead of having, you know, the Halloween pack be $5, the Hag pack be $6, the Doctor being, you know, $7, and the Huntress being $10, what they're going to do is each of the killers are going to be purchasable through these RX cells, and you can buy them in a pack of whatever you feel comfortable and find the best deal for, and then you can buy them with iridescent shards or RX cells. Those two features will be available for you to decide what you want to do with them. If you like spending money because you don't have enough iridescent shards, want to play the killer right now, aka me, then go for it. If you have played the game a ton and you save up before every patch, they've already come out and said that if you keep playing in between each character release, which is usually 3 or 4 months, if you play consistently, you'll be able to afford the new killer every time. So it's crazy. I love the fact that they've changed the way that you get iridescent shards. First of all, you don't get 10 per match; you get much more than 10. Which is something to be you know, praised for, because it's going past the 1,000 cap. But just recognize that you'll accrue those in an infinite amount and be able to do that. Shrine of Secrets, it's disabled right now just because of the way that the patch is moving the public test realm. But just realize that it works the exact same way that it did before. So you new perks are 2,700, old perks are 2,000, and then just new perks is the last 3 expansions. Last 3 chapters, I mean. Old perks is anything prior to that. And these are the amount of blood points you'll get for spending those money on the perks. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Right here is just progress and data, features and context, PvP specific. It doesn't matter to you guys. Just recognize that it allows me to test the store and allows me to save data, which I never was able to do beforehand. Alright, this is what I'm not going to go over because I haven't really done it myself. And if I find anything that's key in here, I'll go over it in one of the other videos and just touch on it. So this is just for you guys to pause and read if you actually care. I will read this later. But they've just made adjustments to the game, like right here, iridescent shards and how they work, scoring and how it works, emblems and how they work. So this goes into detail of how many points you need, right, to be able to get your qualities and all that jazz in each section. Pallets, this is actually one thing I do want to go over. The vacuum no longer works. So you know how, like, sometimes when you were going towards a pallet, you could spam the button and end up on the other side if you were past the hitbox of the pallet, you know, from the front to the back, and it would suck your survivor through. That is no longer available, just because the hitbox was larger on one side than the other, and it just created an unsustainable, or not unsustainable, but an unintended bug. And it's been in the game since the last 2 years, so they've actually moved it. So now the pallets are so much more reliable. You don't get put onto one side even if you're halfway through, but on the same token, playing the killer, you guys won't have to worry. If you're about to hit a survivor in front of a pallet, you can now hit them, like, pretty much every time. And so you're not going to get the lucky vacuums, like, you know, where you pull and you're like, holy crap, I should have been hit. That's not going to happen anymore, which sucks as a survivor, but as a killer, that's a huge, huge buff and a benefit. It makes playing killer a lot easier. Dead Hard has a new animation, which I thought was something that was interesting. So now it looks like they do like a mini sprint. So instead of just lurching forward, you'll actually see their arm, one of their arms will lurch back, and so it's much easier to tell that they have Dead Hard and used it rather than just your own imagination. Here's the bug fixes. And that's it. Let's take a look at the store. I think this is so cool. So right here, it'll tell you the new content that's coming out. You can hit character list, everything right here. You can select from the top, which I think is a little redundant, but to each their own. So, the Shrine of Secrets is bugged, but it'll work exactly as it used to. Every week it'll have 4 perks that you can buy with iridescent shards. Right? RX cells are right there. Blood points, and they're the only things that are capped. So blood points cap still sits at 1 million, but iridescent shards, and then of course RX cells because of the currency. And then here's your player level. Alright, so you can see my current experience. So I played 1 game with the new killer, who we will look at in a second. But I got about, I think I got like 876 XP. I think it was 700 to level. And so you can see I'm level 2, devotion level 0, and I have no idea what devotion levels do other than just maybe looking fancy. I have no idea what it gives you as an advantage as a player, as far as like acquiring new gear and stuff like that. But let's go over what's actually important. So, store, which is so cool. I think this is probably the coolest thing they've done to Dead by Daylight, just because the customization of the characters, it helps you to feel unique, and I feel like it's something that instead of charging for killers, they could just charge people for in-game cosmetic items that add little to no value, but make you feel a lot cooler, and they have gone and done that in Swarm. So if you noticed, 36 or 36, 33, you can see that non-licensed killers, the ones that they came up with, if you go to Cade, right, there's no customization available because these guys have no rights to the characters. So these are licensed, like this guy's part of the Saw series. This is obviously the new, what's it called? Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, the video game Left 4 Dead. They can't touch them. They may be able to in the future, and that's why you see them here. And also it'd be a little bit frustrating for new players to come in like, why is Quentin Smith not in there, right? It helps them just assume there's nothing there. And so, unsurprisingly, right, Leatherface, the Pig, the Nightmare, and the Shape do not have customizable options either. However, everyone else does, and you can see how many they have, right, out of what, and how many do you own. So going back to it. So, a lot of these costumes, guys, aren't going to be earnable through in-game currency, and I actually really like that because it highly incentivizes purchasing from the consumer. Again, I like to support Dead by Daylight because a $20 game and how much we've gotten out of it is insane, and I think that applies to a lot of people. And so I like that a lot of their options, so right here, right, you got the whole outfit. Oh, this is, by the way, this is the outfit generator. So this is just like if you want to buy the outfit all together. But you can see that they're individual pieces over here on the right. But you can actually go through and just pick out what you want individually as well. So right here, it's RX sales only. Slick dealer hat. You want to rotate them around. That's if that's your style with Dwight, great. But you can pay 250 RX sales for his little Terminator glasses. But you can also spend close to 4,000 iridescent shards, right? So that allows you to be able to buy those and then see that option available. So torsos. Right, legs. This applies to every character. I just want to point out he does have socks on, which I thought was kind of funny. But that applies to all of them. So you got like Jake Park. And really what I think is super cool about these is they do have a unique look to all of them. So now when we see players playing, it's no longer going to be every, you know, Prestige 3 of the character. Now we're actually going to see a heavy distortion of different characters, different models, etc. And so I'll go over a separate video that goes over all of these so you guys can just have access to see everyone if that's something you're interested in. I don't know. I like to look at them, but I can do it really quick. I'll make a quick video that just clicks on each of the pieces, allows you to see them, and we'll move forward. But anyway, that's it, guys. So that's the first part of the video, is going over patch notes and obviously the new store. Yeah, so that's, yep, you guys are, yay.